Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another fantastic episode of UMass Yak Back. You may notice that tonight we're looking a little different. We mix up the format a bit. Going to see how it goes. But we've got a great episode in store for tonight. We're going to be talking about Mullins Live happening this Saturday. We're going to be talking about college athletes and the question of whether or not they should be paid. And lastly, we are going to be talking about the upcoming Oscars. So stick around. So our first topic is Mullins Live, happening this Saturday. It's a concert that UMass puts on for its students. It's got some big names. We've got Big Sean, we've got 21 Savage, and we're going to talk about it with Lisa and Jake here. They're very excited about it.
Yes. Yes, we are. I can't wait to talk about it. I'd like to welcome everyone to come on down to the Mullins Center Live Saturday. There's going to be a big concert. DJ Kai Kai will be in the building, rocking everybody's world. But also, bear in mind, there's some things you can't bring on camp, when you come to the concert. And there's a big disclaimer that you cannot bring like balloons, masks, outside food and beverage. But another important thing is that you need to get your tickets ahead of time and bring your UMass card to get in. So order your tickets ahead of time. Otherwise, I don't want any kind of frictions or conflicts. So make sure you do that ahead, okay?
Also, it's important to just announce that to get tickets, they're free. You don't have to pay.
That's right.
To go to this. It's being fully financed by the University of Massachusetts. So, Jake, are you a fan of these artists? Are you excited for this event?
Yeah, you could say I'm pretty excited. By the way, I love the new setup, Tyler.
Oh, thank you, Jake. We worked hard on it.
It's nice. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. But this news that I just heard about no balloons and masks is kind of a letdown. I was excited to bring that in. But yeah, I'm excited for the concert. Free.
Yeah.
Nice early morning concert, just how I like it.
I wonder how Gold Link is going to perform. Like, he's going to have his full band, entourage, and all that. All those folks coming in.
I actually don't know much about Gold Link.
Yeah, so should be exciting. A lot of folks on campus was talking about it. It's going to be a crazy, wild weekend, but be safe, whatever you do, okay, folks?
So, transitioning. So, obviously, getting the names that are there, it's not cheap to get these people. And like I said, the event is free, so UMass is eating that cost. Do you two think that that's a good use of UMass money?
For entertainment aspect, I think, it's like there's so many different students from different nationality on campus. And, it's nice that UMass can bring in these three artists and kind of mix it up a little bit. Not everyone wants to go to a sport event, so you have a musical concert as a backup. They can go to, just hang out for the weekend.
Jake, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I think it's pretty nice to have a free concert, so you don't have to pay to see someone you'd normally have to pay to see. And hope it's good. Hope everything goes well.
Yeah, and UMass, they put this on every year. Have you guys gone in past years? Either of you?
I have not gone, but I heard of it, that it's really nice that they're bringing, having it every year. But not every year is not, they bring like new artists in, which is good.
Yeah, absolutely. And now there's, speaking of the artists, there's some concern going on about Big Sean, one of the main performers. He tweeted that he was canceling his tour. And so now everyone's wondering, is he going to be performing here at UMass or not? Oh. Did you guys see that? Are you worried about that?
I did hear about that. I don't think he's coming.
No?
No chance.
He made it pretty clear in his tweet that he probably wouldn't be, but unless there's some special circumstances. Now, I would think when I first heard that he was canceling it, my first thought was, is he not contracted into this already?
He maybe just has to give the money back. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. That surprises me that something this important that UMass has built an entire event around him, basically.
I kind of tweets can always go out, but the thing is that it's hard to believe because as of today, I just checked online and it says not. I mean, they didn't change the flyer or said there was a conflict of interest or anything like that. So I'm hoping that it's still on there, that he's still coming. Otherwise, I would see some kind of, evidence that there is only going to be 2 versus 1, versus 3 performing.
There'll definitely be some unhappy students if he doesn't
Of
show
course,
up.
I am not going to be a happy camper.
No, and speaking of the students, well, we know that it's Blarney this weekend, right?
That's right.
Do you guys think it's going to be a wild scene at this concert, or are you hoping it's going to be a wild scene, or what?
I don't think it's going to be a wild scene at the concert, but I mean, I don't know, but campus students drinking and, off campus, they have the banners in effect, so I'm hoping that, if anything should happen, there's going to be like rescue, like ASAP on that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so I don't know, Jake, are you planning on, if I may ask, are you planning on participating in Blarney?
Oh, I don't think so. I did last year. I had a good time, but I figure there's a free concert, so I'll go check that out instead.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good option to have for the UMass students. What are your hopes and fears for the weekend?
No one goes to jail.
Yes, there's been some, in previous years, last year, there's been some arrests made. There has been some hospitalizations here at UMass, but hopefully it won't happen this year, and we hope everyone stays safe this Blarney weekend. Well, it is Oscar season now, and we are all quite excited, I might say. I personally hope that Shape of Water picks up a few wins, but with me to talk about the Oscars are Sean and Jenna. Do you guys have any favorites this year?
Well, I saw Lady Bird, which is like an indie film, and I actually really liked it. I didn't expect to before I saw it, because it's a movie about a girl in high school, and I thought it would just be one of those like typical movies, coming of age movies, but I don't know, I thought it was a pretty realistic and interesting depiction, so I hope it wins some.
Good, Sean?
Yeah, well, I mean, I saw 3, I think. I saw Get Out, Dunkirk, and 3 Billboards was the other one, but like you said, Shape of Water, I've seen a lot of Guillermo del Toro movies, like Pan's Labyrinth and such, so I'd say that's probably up there, but I need to see it.
Yeah, the reason I want Shape of Water to win is because Guillermo del Toro is just such a unique guy. Like, he has so much stage presence up there,
Yeah,
You don't see many like him in Hollywood.
No, he's
that,
a cool dude.
He really breaks the mold, it seems like. But you mentioned Lady Bird, Jenna.
Yes.
Now, there's a lot of indie films that were nominated this year. I don't know if that's more than previous years, but it has struck me how many indie films are out there. It's a good thing, but do you guys think that it's a good thing that we're seeing more indie films in a big award show?
Yeah, I haven't seen Call Me by Your Name, but I hear that's really good, and I know one of the actors, and he's also in Lady Bird, like the star, Timothy. Something.
I think French. He actually might be in a couple more.
What? He probably is in a couple more.
He's
kind of like a new breakthrough actor.
There's at least one actor. Maybe I'd like to think he's older, so maybe it's not the same person. There's someone who's in multiple Best Picture films. I think it's the most ever, or tied for the most. He's in 4 or something. So.
Oh wow.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I think with the indie films, I used to not really watch indie films. I mean, they used to be more of a hipster, not a lot of people, a hipster thing. Not a lot of people really watched them or knew about them, and so I think they weren't really nominated for Oscars because of that. But I think because they're kind of, I guess sometimes more realistic. I don't know, the way they're made, it seems more like it can happen in real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen any, but
No, I'd say like a lot of indie films. You see them more on like the like film circuits rather than like the Oscars. Like I think traditionally have been like by. Well, I mean, there is a lot of just old white people who vote for these movies, so you just have like the same directors like Spielberg, who's like obviously like an amazing director, but like The Post this year I know has gotten some criticism, despite like having Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep, because like some people just weren't really that impressed, but just because it has their names and Spielberg,
Right.
even with the good performances, there's still just kind of that legacy nominations
And that's
in the process.
that's a big budget film we're talking here, just for
Yeah.
the cast alone. But I think with all these indie films, it really goes to show that money isn't everything in terms of filmmaking. Because think, what are the highest budget movies are like Marvel, DC, stuff like that, who we never see getting these awards. What was that? Has a Marvel movie ever been mentioned in the Oscars?
Well, I mean, I think there's also a reason for that. Like, I just think technically, like, they're great as spectacles, but like they don't really hold up against like other movies. I would say like one, actually, it was released this year. I think Logan. Some people have put on their list of like a film that should have been nominated, because like that kind of revitalized the superhero genre.
And why is that? What are you saying Marvel movies are lacking that, like, what are you saying a movie needs to be Oscar nominated?
Well, I mean, I would say Marvel movies have universal appeal, and especially now that Marvel's under Disney. They're kind of directed towards younger audiences. I'm not saying like a G-rated film. I mean, you see Pixar movies all the time that are like held up, especially on the animation side. They don't really get like Best Picture noms, but they're kind of widely praised.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like there has to be something more like technically there than just a crowd-pleasing movie, which like Marvel tends to put out.
Yeah, definitely. And let's talk more about, who is actually, you said old white people earlier, right? Let's talk about who is actually calling the shots here, who is choosing what movies are winning awards. It's a select group of people, right?
Yeah.
I don't know the exacts, but
I just know that it's called the Academy.
Yeah.
the
That's
Academy.
it.
So
Yeah.
the question that leads me to is, the Academy, we're assuming all these people are, Hollywood.
Yeah, they're like big
Not
Hollywood
elites, but-
execs.
Oh, exactly.
I
So,
think.
so to us, common folk, do these awards mean anything?
Well, I mean, I would say they definitely mean something to the people that are winning them, who like dream of like having an Oscar. I mean, historically, it's just been a prestigious award, so regardless of who wins, like,
But do you think it's fair to say that the Oscars and the process that it goes through to win one, is that actually telling of a good movie versus a bad movie?
I would say not necessarily, but there are a lot of like amazing movies that have won in the past. But then on the flip side, you also have a lot of Best Picture winners that are like notorious for just like having people scratch their heads and go like, why? When like some movies weren't even nominated that like should have had it over that film. So
Yeah, definitely. There's pros and cons to it, I would say. I don't think you'd agree. How different do you think the results of what the best movie would be if the public voted on it? Would some, because some of these indie films wouldn't even be in consideration, it'd be fair to say, but what do you think we would see if me and you were voting on best movie?
Definitely more, like you said, like superhero movies, I'm sure, because those are so popular.
yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to think. Movies like that I guess the Academy doesn't really take seriously, because it doesn't seem like they take superheroes like, I don't know, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like the movies they still nominate are usually good, like as a whole. I mean, it depends on the year too. If, like some years are really good for movies and some are not.
Yeah.
But
No, I would say like effect blockbusters like don't really get nominated. They get nominated for like effect categories or like sound design.
Mm-hmm.
Like a like big movie like, I mean Christopher Nolan's nominated this year for Dunkirk, but like something like Inception or like The Dark Knight, which like Heath Ledger won like Best Actor, which was huge. Talking about the superhero genre breaking into these categories,
yeah.
like that posthumous win was like big for superhero movies, but like there's just not enough.
I think comedies too. Like if people were to choose, they'd probably choose like comedies.
Oh, exactly.
You don't really see.
But movies, I think shallow movies is what well, not shallow. That's not too.
Yeah, I
fair
mean,
to
like,
say,
The
but
Disaster Artist is
Oscars are
also
looking for
nominated.
Deep movies with deep stories. Well, we could sit here and talk about the Oscars all day, and I would love to, but we are unfortunately out of time, and we're going to be moving on to our next segment right after this. Artificial intelligence is something that soon is going to make all of our lives so much easier and so much better. Or is it? With me to talk about that, I have Sharon and darn it, Connor. Restart. Next time, tell him next time I mess up to not cut, and we'll just keep. I'll just restart.
I took a couple screenshots. Oh no, we're still down.
Artificial intelligence is something that will soon make all of our lives so much easier. Or is it? To talk about that, I have with me Sharon and Connor. So tell me, guys, is artificial intelligence going to be the downfall of humanity?
I sure hope not. Who am I to say? I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
As much as I support technology's advancement, I think it will kind of become the downfall. If you kind of like refer to like, Black Mirror, Ex Machina, even her, those are just pure examples of machines taking over human race.
Yeah, Terminator.
Like the Terminator, yeah.
I agree, but
I actually never watched a Terminator, so.
But films and movies and things like that are always going to reflect like our fears,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think, if anything, maybe it's movies and things like that that are going to warn us against the paths to take. Maybe those are going to be the things that keep development on pace in a route where AI will not take over. Who knows?
Right, and
I don't know.
everyone seems to have their own opinion on artificial intelligence. For me, I try to not, because I don't really understand. Like, to me, I don't understand how an artificial intelligence robot can take over the world. It doesn't make sense to me. But there are smart people in the world, the smartest people in the world, who say, like Elon Musk, for example. We all know Elon Musk, right? Who says this is going to be the downfall. So when you hear people like that saying this, it's hard to not get worried about it, for me at least.
Well, I think like some of the machines that I'm kind of concerned about is Sophia, the first artificial intelligence robot that looks exactly like a human, that can make like a lot of facial expressions and can think on her own now. She even has her own Twitter account. Like, did you guys know that?
No. Who is Sophia? Or what is that?
So Sophia is a robot that's created to take in all the information answers that people generate through the internet, and she's able to make up her own responses. And she just basically looked like a white woman, but she's bald. And
I have seen that. And she I have seen that. Yeah, she's creepy.
Yeah,
she's very creepy.
She has a citizenship in
Really?
Saudi Arabia. Yeah.
That's
Wow.
okay.
She's the first robot to get a
citizenship?
citizenship.
That's a little strange.
That is strange.
But she hasn't done anything bad yet that we know of. If
She-
she's that smart, she's probably keeping it on the down low a little
I
bit.
mean, did you see her first interview with her creator?
She's not the one who said she was going to put him in a people zoo.
No.
Oh, okay.
She says she's gonna destroy all of humanity.
Oh, okay. That's about just as bad. I remember reading an article last year about Facebook. I think it was Facebook created messenger bots. They're built with the purpose of negotiating deals. and they had them negotiating with each other just as a test. And they had to shut it down because they developed their own language. And the two AI bots were talking to each other in their own language.
I actually remember reading about that. That creeped me out too.
that's scary.
That was scary. But to be fair, I think if you read into that a little bit more, it was something more about like them using, I don't know, like shortcuts and things like that. Just like phrases that would mean something longer. You know what I mean? Where nothing. But I agree, it's creepy. But maybe just not quite as scary as it seems. I don't know.
I mean, they could it'd be like one wrong step, and they could just shut down Facebook and just like sell their stocks. Stocks would actually go down, maybe.
Yeah, really. I don't know. They must have some sort of security measure to keep them from doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But
I hope so. Jeez.
what do you guys now? Something that always comes to my mind when talking about AI is you see all these like robots, and you know Boston Dynamics. You've seen the videos.
You
of
mean the robot dog?
the robot dogs and stuff like that.
kill
Now,
it.
my
Oh,
question
yeah.
with that is, and a lot of people talk about it, is I think we're gonna have a difficult time differentiating robots from humans emotionally. Like, I'm not saying we're gonna be like, is that a robot? Is that a human? But we're gonna have trouble giving orders to a robot, being rude to a robot. There's a sense you get like an emotional attachment to it.
Well, if you say it like that, then that means that's the human's fault then, for just putting their emotions on the robot to create that attachment. And I guess that does create putting our emotions, such as fear, to actually end up like not trusting robots and actually hating them. Because I kind of hate Sophia, so.
Yeah, but let's say like there's these chat bots that are getting better and smarter every day. One of those bots could message you on Facebook, start a conversation with you, build a relationship with you, and you would have no idea if it's a human or a robot. At that point, it gets to the question of, well, what makes this not human if they're talking like a human and they're reacting to all my questions and comments like a human?
You can't see them in person, and you can't touch them, and
You can touch that Sophia.
It's true. Yeah.
oh no, God, I would never touch that.
All right, well, let's move away from the negatives of AI. Let's talk about some positive applications. Do you guys have any, well, I mean, in all our lives, there's positive uses of AI with, I'm sure both of you have Siri or Google Assistant in your phone right now. Where do you see, let's talk about a positive future for AI. What do you see developing in the field?
Ordering McDonald's for you, maybe Domino's.
Yeah. There's that Google thing that's coming out soon, or the Google's working on that thing.
There's
What
that
is it
Google
called?
AI.
Google AI,
Yeah.
where they can kind of it works with your phone, and it'll learn your preferences for texting and things like that, and it'll actually send text messages on your behalf to your friends. That'll be cool, just to sort of save time when I'm in real life. Like, I don't have to be, focusing on what I'm doing, like homework or in class, and I can just worry about my phone sending a text to my friends saying that, like, I'm not going to make it to coffee today because my phone knows that I'm in class. So I think, time essentially is what I'm excited for, just free time and being able to be more present, because AI will take care of more things.
Definitely. Well, this has been another episode of UMass Yak Back, brought to you entirely by
Humans and not robots. See you next week.